Campsite number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of my solo trip in Algonquin Park. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The much anticipated open water season is upon us, and I'm excited to start another trip in season. So we're back in the park trying to make up for previous spring trips that kept on getting canceled. We came to the west gate, driving on Highway 60, making our way to the 21-kilometer mark so we can make our way to access point number 7. This time we have 15 days in the backcountry, starting off on Swift Lake, and we're attempting to do our longest trip yet, with a chance to dive a little bit deeper in the history of the park's logging artifacts along the way. We'll be making our way on a northern bearing through Big Trout Lake, then continuing to Burntroot, visiting many lakes we haven't seen before. It's going to be a backcountry wilderness escape that will have us weave easterly up and down through the Nipissing River for the first time until we get to the northernest part of the trip on Cedar Lake. Then it's time to venture back and continue to create a loop that will have us hit part of the Petawawa River on our way south through Cat and Sunfish Lakes, and this to set us up for a westerly Hogan Lake crossing. Then we meander our way, weaving through creeks and rivers, and finally retracing our route to get us back to where we started. Altogether, we should cover about 160 kilometers and 26 different lakes. It's going to be a big adventure, and I hope you're up for it, Scout. Maybe this should be called the Heart of Algonquin trip. Or actually, scratch that. Kind of looks like a face to me. You guys see it? Fun Algonquin Canoeing Experience. That sounds like a catchy name. I think we'll go with that. Well, that's the plan we've got booked. Hopefully, we can stay on schedule. Once again, I got my first mate Scout riding the bow, and we got my Prospector 14 loaded with the most weight we've ever tripped with. I have my white 85-liter bag, a gray waterproof bag, Scout's blue backpack full of her food, and I'm gonna need a couple food bags to get through the longer trip. And to all you gear junkies out there, here's a look into all that broken down. Starting off in the top left corner with my tent, pegs, pole, Nemo Riff sleeping bag, Nemo air pad, Sea to Summit liner and stuffed sacks pillow, and a bug shelter. I have one extra set of dry clothes, rain jacket, and I'm using the Kokatad Tempest dry plan. My water system includes the Knock Outdoors water bag, Sawyer water filter, Cook set is 900ml pot, GSI stove, 8-ounce isobutane canister, pot cozy, mini grate, and emergency fire starter. I have a bunch of cordage for my 10x10 AquaQuest tarp and the smaller 260 by 210 centimeter gear top tarp. All my camera equipment goes in my Yeti dry bag, bunch of miscellaneous bear spray, air horn, sunblock, Garmin InReach Mini, first aid kit, patch kit, solar charger, Gone by Silky 240 saw, and don't forget the TP. You have to be prepared for everything in May. I have a toque, puffy, and gloves, 3 food bags, 2 for me, and the blue backpack is Scout's. I always look through Kevin Callan's book, A Paddler's Guide to Algonquin Park, before I go, but the book will be staying home. All this into my Hyperlight backpack, the Porter 5400. It's not waterproof, but that's what the garbage bags are for. Hopefully this will cover everything that we need for this trip, and this is what the Prospector boats were made for. Continuing on with last year's tradition, we start the season off with adding another sticker to the paddle. Joining up with Canoe Hound Outdoor Adventures and Explore the Backcountry is another outdoor teams whose content I thoroughly enjoyed. The duo are known as one half axe whisperer and the other half known for his erratic behavior. They're superior paddlers who are constantly putting out good backcountry Ontario angling videos. Any guesses? Representing 2022 Lost Lakes. I'm happy to support, and this will fit nicely on the paddle. But that's not all. We also have a special inductee this year, which helps support a worthy cause. A limited edition run that only comes around every 59 years. And at his request, the profits went to Project Canoe, an organization that helps youths explore the outdoors that otherwise couldn't. A canoeing celebrity and a huge advocate of the double blade. So it's only fitting that Kevin Callan's face be permanently affixed to the double blade from now on. I'm sure the happy camper couldn't be more thrilled. Sorry, it's hard to get through that one. Much respect, Kevin, as lots of my tripping notes are coming from your book, A Paddler's Guide to Algonquin Park. I always like to look it over before I go to the park. We're off to a good start. All we need now is Scout's pick of the week. Which one is it gonna be? The pink one or the blue one? Which one is it gonna be, Scout? Which one is it gonna be? Which one is gonna be? Get it, Scout, get it, Scout. Good job. Bring it, Scout, bring it, bring it. Yes! Good. Scouts, pick of the week. Jay's Tasty Adventures. Let's give them a try. Well, those two, Scout, give it a try. Good job, good job, good stuff, hey Scout? Those treats should hit the spot, hey Scout? And for me, I'll be relying on the fish I catch. I don't think so, I'd starve to death. Winter is the season of dehydrating and prep started a long time ago. Longer trips mean extra weight. Perfect time to take a closer look at what will be fueling us along the way. Most of my meals I put together myself. Some of my dinners are made up of pastas, chilies, shepherd's pie, and some soups. I'll dehydrate as much as I can, including tomato sauce, hummus, fruits, and veg. I will use some freeze-dried ingredients, especially when it comes to the thicker pieces of chicken and beef. Those ones are a little bit harder to dehydrate. Morning breakfast usually starts off with oatmeal topped with dried cranberries, freeze-dried fruit, and topped with a mixture of nuts. Other than that, snacking throughout the day is jerky, some snack bars, and dehydrated pineapple and bananas. And last but not least, we can't forget 12 pounds of dog food. Hopefully that'll be enough for us to get by, and we're approaching our first portage of the day. I think it would be best for us to start with a double carry, because we're not really in tripping shape just yet. So we'll come back for the canoe. Let's go, Scout. Still a few muddy sections, but we can handle, right, Scout? Let's go. One trip done. Now back for the canoe. We are definitely not in tripping shape. There's a few wet and muddy spots on these portages. The bugs aren't too bad. The only problem is that it's so hot. I didn't expect it to be this hot in May. It's like 30 degrees, man. We're dying out here. Especially since we have to double carry. We got too much weight right now. We can't single carry. That's not an option just yet. We got to get rid of some of this food first. This is campsite number 1. All right, keeping a schedule for day 1. A little bit of pasta for dinner, and here's a little game for you. See if you can find Scout's bowl before she can. Get your bowl, Scout. All right, Scout. Good dog. All right. You want something to eat? Scout. Leave it. All right, all we need now is for it to cool down a little bit and get rid of some of this heat. That's gonna do it for day 1. See you tomorrow. Take it. I don't know if the microphone's picking that up, but you can hear the wolves howling, and they're pretty close. Okay, the start of day number 2. It's taken us a little bit longer to break camp, but I guess that's expected for the first trip of the season. We were welcomed by the wolves last night. Today we have over 8 kilometers to get to our next campsite. We're staying on Burnt Island. The problem is that half of the 8 kilometers is portaging. So it's going to be a tough day. It's a little bit of overcast. Hopefully we don't get too much rain, but it's a little bit cooler. And I can see our first portage just up ahead. Okay. Well, I'm guessing the marker is on that uprooted tree. Hard to take root in the sand. There it is. Portage sign was a little hidden. But it looks like we got about a 1,300 meter portage. We're still running a little heavy, so we're gonna have to make sure to double carry these ones. It's gonna take a little extra time. Still early in the season. A little bit of maintenance still has to be done. Some of these are blocked. It's gonna take a second. So my strategy for these portages, carry the canoe in one bag first, walk back. I use that as my rest time. Then I go back and get the other bags, and I carry those bags past where I left the canoe. And then I drop those off, and then I go back in the canoe, and I just rotate back and forth each time. It takes a long time. It's pretty tiring too. If I need a full rest, I'll sit down and stop, but usually I just use walking back as the rest point. One thing about the Algonquin ones, yeah, maybe they're messy, but we can still find them. You don't have to make your own trail. We'll make it through though, no problem. We'll make it through. This whole trail we've been following some pretty fresh moose tracks, and now we just came across some more evidence. Pretty fresh. It's even warm. It's a rock. It's a rock. Gotta be prepared for a little bit of everything in May. Okay, it's a long day. We finally got a campsite on Burnt Highland. It's just coming up to 5 o'clock. We're out there most of the day. It's been raining all day. My hands are turning to prune. But let me show you something that we found when we were paddling in. It's just over here. Check this out. Oh, it's heavy. Never came across one of these before. That's pretty neat. Oh, you guys see it? Look at that. That's pretty neat. You wanna see it, Scout? All right. Put that up on the shore for later. I'm gonna get set up, put up the tent, and have something to eat. Talk to you later. It's that time of day where I have to get out of my nice, warm, dry clothes and back into yesterday's damp, wet, and cold clothes before we head back out on the water. Let's go. Yesterday's total distance of travel was just over 8 kilometers. Today, depending on how far we reach on big trout, it could be up to 17. But the portages in between are much smaller and a lot shorter, so that'll save us a bunch of time. We'll finally get a chance to do some paddling on the water. Just have a short paddle around this corner, and then we'll head up to the first portage of the day, the longest one to start, around 800 meters. Making our way to big trout today. Some windy gusts out there making the trees sway a little bit, that our distance of travel will vary depending on which way the wind is gusting. It's a little harder to film in these conditions. Not going to be much footage out here. We got dinner. Look at that brook trout. Number 2. He's going back. We'll get him back quick. Look at those spots. Look at those spots. We got another one. We got another one. Let's get him back real quick. Take a look. What'd I tell you? Number 4. Awesome. Okay. Just a little guy, but he's gotta go back. Time to go back. I gotta get going. That's the first one again. Snack time, Scout. Pupperette time for you, eh? Oh yes, pupperette time. Hey, sit. Pupperette time. All right. Pupperette time. Hold it. Hold it. Pupperette for you. And some Jack Bling's beefsteak strip for me, eh? Oh, good. Take it, Scout. Here. Don't mind if I do. We'll take a break here, and then we'll carry on to the end. Not much further to go. We only kept one brookie, but it's too big for me, and it's not going to go to waste. So Scout's going to get her first time eating fish. She's only ate kibble before, so stick around if you want to see what her reaction is. Oh, it tastes so good. I picked out all the bones for Scout. It's cooled down. Now it's time for her first time to have fish. First time to have something other than kibble. You ready, Scout? You ready? Take it. Take it. It's yours. She doesn't know what to do.